Broadcasting from our studio in Boston,
Solutions Review is proud to showcase Infinidat in the Solution Spotlight, an inside look at enterprise technologies.
I'm Doug Atkinson here at Solutions Review, and welcome to the Solution Spotlight featuring Infinidat, and focused on accelerating the future of enterprise storage and cybersecurity. The future of enterprise storage is expected to include increased cybersecurity, AI integration, more efficient storage, hybrid cloud integration, and consolidation. So today, we're offering a guided tour through all that is new at Infinidat, a company that delivers enterprise-proven solutions for data storage, data protection, business continuity, and sovereign cloud storage. Your tour guide for this journey is Eric Herzog, the Chief Marketing Officer at Infinidat. He is a former senior executive at global storage providers EMC and IBM, and has more than 30 years of experience and proven success in the enterprise storage industry, managing all aspects of marketing, product management, and business development. Eric, I'll turn this event over to you. The floor is yours.
Joining me today is Joe Roa, Senior Solutions Architect. He's one of our experts on both the backup side and on the cybersecurity side. Also, answering questions live will be Bill Bacinas, our Senior Director of Product Marketing. So let's get to the details. So this is a huge launch for us. First of all, across the top, we're announcing at the system level the G4 platforms. Our hybrid, the InfiniBox, and our all-flash, the InfiniBox SSA, have been completely refactored from the ground up with a completely new architecture, which we'll go into. And as you know very well, the real magic fairy dust of Infinidat is about software. Yes, we have a few patents on hardware design, but do we do array controllers? No. Do we do custom ASICs? No. Do we do custom flash? No. Do we do custom anything? Yes. Tons of custom, high-end enterprise software that delivers the correct technical and business value to you as a company. So across the bottom are the several pieces of software that are part of this launch. The InfiniVerse platform, which all of you existing customers know very, very well as our existing resellers, is our metrics platform. We'll be extending that into an infrastructure consumption service. Our InfuzeOS Cloud Edition, which last year we announced with Amazon, is now available for Microsoft Azure as well. So we're delivering seamless hybrid multi-cloud integration from your on-prem storage to the cloud. InfiniSafe Automated Cyber Protection. You want to cut down on the threat window. As you all know, enterprises will pay to thwart ransomware and malware, both the products they buy as well as literally actual ransom, $9.5 trillion this year. I repeat, $9.5 trillion according to security analysts. So leveraging InfiniSafe Automated Cyber Protection, which will work with your cybersecurity software applications, can help you reduce that threat window. And our InfiniSafe Cyber Detection, which is use AI and ML to scan for malware and ransomware, is being extended now to VMware data stores, which we were not able to do. We announced, as you know, InfiniSafe Cyber Detection last year. And of course, our customers love it. Net3 is actually a cloud service provider here in the United States. They're about $1 billion. They have 8 petabytes of our older solutions, and they're very excited about this launch. Ryan, by the way, happens to be one of the top 10 CIOs in the world, according to CIO Magazine. So, this is a real expert from an end user perspective, not the storage analyst and not Infinidat, but, an expert CIO. So let's get to the InfiniBox and the InfiniBox SSA with the new G4 platform. But first, a quick summary. As you know, we're all about our InfuzeOS. As you can tell, the operating system ships on everything we have. Of course, the original InfiniBox, our hybrid array. We then came out for backup, purpose-built backup plans with the InfiniGuard. Those of you who have that product know that in every InfiniGuard, there's an InfiniBox embedded inside. And then the last product we introduced back in 2021 was the all-flash InfiniBox SSA, but all of it is fused together with the InfuzeOS operating system, our neural cache, which gives us that incredible performance. InfiniSafe for cyber resiliency and cyber recovery. Our enterprise data services that we offer, InfiniVerse, and its incredible telemetry data. Now, I'll do a quick summary, and in fact, all of the big bullets in black bold around the circle get even better with the G4 platform. As you know, an incredibly great total cost of ownership and rapid return on investment. As you know, with our third generation product, IDC, one of the leading storage analyst firms, did an analysis of talking to 10 enterprise customers in Europe and in North America. They saw a return in 11 months. Of course, a lot of that comes from our service-oriented automation and our set it and forget it IT operations. As many of you know, between our current public references on our own website and the Gartner Peer Insights, where we have won the Customer's Choice Award 6 years, in those reviews and our own, many customers have talked about how they've had their InfiniBox, their InfiniBox SSA, or their InfiniGuard for several years and never need to touch it. Broad-based consolidation, of course, is part of how we get that lower TCO and ROI. One of our global Fortune 500 customers in the United States, 450 floor tiles with someone else's all-flash array. And now with the third generation InfiniBox SSA, not even the G4, they have 100 floor tiles. Talk about saving on watts, slots, power, operational resources, and of course, a greener data center. 450 floor tiles to 100, all running the same workloads. We have guarantees galore. Our guaranteed SLAs include performance on the InfiniBox, the InfiniBox SSA. Our cyber resilience guarantees across the board on the immutability of our snapshots. Some of you may know some of our competitors literally will let you turn off immutability. Then why would you make it immutable if they let you turn it off? Really, really puzzling to me. And we guarantee, of course, the RTO, the recovery time objective. And of course, we guarantee on the InfiniBox and the InfiniBox SSA, 100% availability guaranteed. And of course, as one of our end users, this company is in the $40 billion US range. If you aren't running Infinidat in your data center, you are wasting money on storage. And again, several of the Gartner Peer Insights, as well as our own public references, point out how much money global enterprises save by using Infinidat's technology. So let's get to the new G4 and what we did. So first of all, we completely refactored the hardware. We also had to rewrite the InfuzeOS. We're now on version 8 that comes on the G4 platforms. We are using new AMD technology, the EPYC CPUs. We use a single socket 34 core, giving us 31% more cores. We used to, as you know, on the Intel side, use dual chips. We get real benefit from this. We have PCIe Gen 5 inside of our 3 nodes, which of course are active, active, active. That's one of our, if you will, hardware design patents. No other enterprise storage vendors does active, active, active technology at the controller level. And of course, we're now at DDR5 for the DRAM. We're 20% more power efficient per core. And the big benefit to you is in IOPS and bandwidth compared to our third generation product, the G4 is up to 2.6 times better performance. That's right, 2.6 times. We also know, since we rewrote the software to go from Intel to AMD, we also know that we have room to increase performance even more. So in subsequent version 8, you will see also performance tuning that will take that 2.6 number up even higher. And of course, you may want to take your third generation and turn it into your disaster recovery or your business continuity replica. So we've made sure that the InfuzeOS version 8 on the G4 will work with an older third generation array so that you could replicate or snapshot back and forth between the two different systems, the third generation, our older one, and of course now the new G4. Now, we've also had a number of great things that result from this. First of all, is even better workload consolidation. So we have one customer in the US, 24 arrays from 3 different vendors to 2 InfiniBox SSA and 2 InfiniBox, 24 to 4. Well, now and that's on the third generation. On the G4, perhaps that would be 24 to 2 or 24 to 3. We already thrive at this consolidation, reducing your floor space, your power, your cooling. Clearly, 4 arrays is easier to manage than 24, and 100 floor tiles is easier to manage than 450, delivering better ROI and TCO. And as you know well, hopefully many of you attended our Green IT webinar in early April. Green IT is cost effective. Some people tell you, well, if you go green, it costs you more money. Absolutely not. If you haven't seen that webinar, please go to www.infinidat.com on our resource section. You can see that recording as well as download the PDF. Now, we made an incredible change in the all-flash world. If you look up at the top right, we still have our 100% fully populated, our 80% and 60% partially populated, which we announced last year. Remember, when you upgrade those, it's a completely non-disruptive upgrade. All your applications, workloads, and use cases continue to run, but it does lower your entry price point. Now what we've done is taken a high-end, active, all-flash InfiniBox with all of our complete enterprise feature sets and put it into a 14 rack U form factor. Not only does this reduce the starting usable capacity, we're now down to 155 terabytes. As you know, the 60% populated is closer to 400 terabytes. So of course, it'll be a lower entry price point for you. It will go in an industry standard rack, as you see in the picture. Although you can buy it in our rack if you want to, you can put it in any rack you want. So how does that help you? First of all, for any of you that are looking at co-location, it's a great thing. As you know, co-location facilities, the power, the cooling, the physical floor space. So if you're doing co-location and you've got a partially populated rack, as long as it's 14 rack U, you can slide our storage right in with that networking and whatever servers you have. Obviously, edge distributed data centers. So for example, if you had 29 factories with a small data center, each of those factories that talk to your core data center, then of course the 1400 family would be an ideal solution to go into that distributed small data center at your factory level. And in your core data center, if you have partially populated racks with servers and networking, as long as there's 14 rack U, you can slide the 1400 family right in. Now, we didn't forget our hybrids. Not only, of course, is the 4000 family now the 4400 on the hybrid side and the 6400. Okay, both of them were the 43 and the 63 in the past, now at the 44 and the 64. But we also added 20 terabyte drives to the 4400 family. For those of you that are aware of our hybrid opportunities, you know that on the 6300 and now the 6400, we were already using 20 terabyte drives. But this gives us a new capacity point at the 4400 family, so it should be another ideal solution for you. Well, we didn't stop there. One of the things that's very common in mid-range storage is a controller upgrade program. It's optional. There is a fee for it. And what it allows you to do is keep your media. If it's a hybrid, for us, that would be both flash and, of course, hard drives. In our all flash, of course, it's all flash. And what you would do is you would just swap out the controllers. So in the next generation, after the G4 comes out, you can keep your media. Okay? This is applicable to our CapEx and our capacity on demand system. So if you buy our array fully CapEx up front or our capacity on demand, which is a CapEx model, you do legally own it once you paid us all the way through. It's available there. If you are one of our storage as a service customers on FLX, it won't be available because we'll decide whether it needs an upgrade or not based on the SLAs. So what's unique is we're the only guy in the high-end enterprise to offer this program. Common in the mid-range, but not in the high end. So we're the first guy to announce this program. And of course, the G4 family and everything we're doing, including things we're going to talk about in a second on our Cloud Edition and our InfiniVerse, have, of course, impressed the storage analyst community globally. Now, our InfiniVerse platform, for those existing customers and channel partners, you know it well. It's our incredible telemetry platform that gathers an incredible amount of information. In fact, for those of you that know us well, you've seen where on the performance side, we can even track the latency, not only into our storage systems, but through the network and back out to the server side. So incredible telemetry information. It gives you predictive analytics already on capacity, performance, and a number of other things. And of course, it's an incredibly valuable tool for our technical advisors. For those of you that are not existing customers, we provide a technical advisor at no cost when you buy an Infinidat solution. Some of our competitors do offer TAs, but me having been the CMO of the IBM storage division, and before that, the Senior VP for Product Management and Product Marketing EMC, they charge for it. We do not. We include it. So the TAs use it, our customers use it, and obviously, if you do need tech support, our tech support teams use it. Now, remember, one of our differences, we don't force you to do level 1 and level 2. We go right to level 3. So you have the top of the top. We don't have technical support advisors who are just out of college with a computer science or electrical engineering. We don't have that. These are very experienced support people that we have. So again, that white glove support and service is incredible and uses InfiniVerse. Now, what we're doing is that platform native architecture, we are going to expand and we're going to make InfiniVerse more proactive. So around cyber resilience, consumption services, such as our storage as a service, FLX, lifecycle management. In a future version, for anybody who does the Mobius program, you will get a notification proactively that you're due for an upgrade when the next generation comes out. And all our data services. As you know, a ton of this information is already in InfiniVerse, but you have to go to InfiniVerse. So imagine now that InfiniVerse is telling you, hey, here's the snapshots I have, read, write, and immutable across all my systems, and it gives you a weekly report or a quarterly report, whatever you set up, and it automatically does that for you. So instead of having to go into InfiniVerse, which you could still do, it could proactively give you a readout of all of the snapshots across your entire Infinidat estate. Now, why would we do this? First of all, it's a software. It's part of our InfuzeOS InfiniVerses and has been for years. So whether you're doing storage as a service with us, capacity on demand, or traditional full CapEx purchases, this software is there. It improves productivity and efficiencies. It gives you simplified IT operations. And think of it as a central control plane across your entire Infinidat estate. Now, the Detroit Pistons are a professional basketball team in the US, the National Basketball Association. They are a customer with third generation of the InfiniBox. So they're very excited about the G4, and we've been talking to them about upgrading that third generation into the new G4 platform. Now, as you know, hybrid multi-cloud is here. Now, of course, 10 years ago, everyone said, oh, everything's going to go to the cloud. And all of you in the high-end enterprise know, whether it be security reasons, cost reasons, or performance reasons, certain workloads are great in the cloud, and certain workloads are better, way better, on-prem. So what we've done is make sure with our InfuzeOS Cloud Edition, we give you seamless capability between your on-prem Infinidat estate and off-prem. We announced AWS last year and now Microsoft Azure. So the two largest cloud providers in the world we support. It is a full version of the InfuzeOS, NeuroCache, InfiniVerse, InfiniSafe. Why is that important to you? Yes, you can use AWS storage or Microsoft storage natively, but it's a different user interface, and it does not offer anywhere near the level of high-end enterprise features that we do. So by taking the InfuzeOS and sticking it into an AWS instance, and now being announced on May 22nd, a couple weeks ago with Azure, you can have the complete Infinidat experience, not only on-prem with your InfiniBox or your InfiniBox SSA, but now off-prem in your cloud instantiation. Now, it's a full version. You get everything. You can see on the right side in the image, you can clearly see in the cloud instance data, that's the Microsoft data. If it was Amazon, it would show the Amazon data. And it behaves exactly the same. It is a full version of our software. It's file and block, just like an InfiniBox and InfiniBox SSA are. However, it is Ethernet protocols only. The only thing we have not done, it is not a triple node architecture. Today, in Amazon or in Microsoft, it is a single instance, but it does give you a number of incredible use cases. First of all, disaster recovery and business continuity. You'll be replicating to an InfiniBox out in the cloud. Of course, test, dev, and POC work. That way, if you're doing a POC with some software in the database world, for example, you're doing that POC on our storage. General purpose burst, of course, and backup targets. Remember, we report and work with all of the major backup vendors, Commvault, Veeam, IBM Protect, Veritas, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. In fact, over 150 of our customers use the InfiniBox as a backup target. We have a purpose-built backup appliance, the InfiniGuard, but we have some customers that use the InfiniBox for on-prem as well as on-prem backup. So now with the InfuzeOS in the cloud, Commvault, Veeam, Veritas will see essentially an InfiniBox that's not on-prem but happens to be out in the cloud. And of course, we already talked about the storage standardization capability. We do see that, of course, in the large enterprise, you may have two clouds, whether they're both in Europe or both in the US. You could have one cloud vendor in Europe and a different cloud vendor in Asia, for example. So by supporting AWS and Azure, we give you that choice. And in fact, without moving data back on-prem, we can move data back and forth between your InfuzeOS with Azure and your InfuzeOS with AWS. Very cool feature that almost nobody else in the industry is offering that has a cloud instantiation. Now, InfiniSafe, automated cyber protection. You all know well the cost of cybercrime. You read about it every day. It's regulated everywhere, in the US, in Europe, in Asia. There's regulations everywhere. And of course, the cost. What is the scariest thing is actually on the bottom right. That is an actual calculator from the cyber criminals of what it's going to cost you. No kidding. This was in searchsecurity.com, one of the security-centric publications. And whether it be the EU officials, the US officials, the Japanese officials, no one has caught these guys. So literally, you can find this calculator publicly, even though they're criminals. Now, if that doesn't scare you, I don't know what will. Now, it's one thing to go to our calculators to figure out how to save money or how we have green IT, but this is literally a criminal calculator that's publicly available. Scary. Of course, the analyst community is very impressed with what we've done with InfiniSafe overall. InfiniSafe, by the way, before this announcement, has won 17 Products of the Year awards, whether it be from the press or whether from the storage analyst community. We've had InfiniSafe since February of 2022. What's new, the green on the right, is automated cyber protection, which we're going to talk about, and cyber detection for VMware. And although it's not going to be till the second half, we are announcing that cyber detection, which today is available on the InfiniBox and the InfiniBox SSA, will be available for our purpose-built backup appliance, the InfiniGuard, towards the end of 2024. So let's talk about InfiniSafe and what it does. Basically, it's available across the portfolio on the purpose-built backup side as well as on the primary storage side. InfiniSafe consists of immutable snapshots, which we stay immutable and we guarantee they are, logical air gapping, remote and local or both, a fenced forensic environment, which in the InfiniBox and the InfiniBox SSA is set up with our reference architecture. In the case of the InfiniGuard, that fenced forensic environment is intrinsic to the InfiniGuard platform. This is very unique on the backup side. Does one or two of our backup competitors have it as well? Yes, but in both instances, you need to buy two of their systems to get the fenced forensic environment. We can do it with one. Talk about saving you on your capital expenditures and your operational expenditures, independent of having it so much more convenient because the fenced forensic environment is in the same physical box. Our near instantaneous recovery, we guarantee that. Recovery time objective of 1 minute or less, regardless of dataset size, on the InfiniBox and on the InfiniBox SSA. In fact, in February, and we do this every quarter now, we did a cybersecurity webinar. On that webinar, we recovered 200 terabytes, 175,000 video files in 3 seconds. I kid you not. And I'm so crazy that we do all our demos live, and you're going to see a live demo in a little bit. On the InfiniGuard, we also guarantee the RTO of 20 minutes or less. Of course, when you're in InfiniGuard, you're looking at backup data sets, Commvault, Veeam, Veritas. When we did the cyber video last quarter, we recovered 20 petabytes Yes, 20 petabytes of a Commvault backup repository in 13 minutes. In Q4 of 2023, the exact same demo, but a 20 petabyte Veeam backup repository, and we recovered it in 11 minutes and 55 seconds. On these RTO guarantees, no one is close to what we do. Nobody, whether it be primary storage or on the backup secondary storage side. Now we're expanding it. InfiniSafe Automated Cyber Protection is going to be working with cybersecurity software packages. That's right. If a SOAR or SIM cybersecurity package detects an anomaly, you can configure InfiniSafe to automatically take a snapshot. Now, why would you want to do that? The reason is most people do snapshots on some regular cadence. For example, we had a customer meeting yesterday, and one of our existing customers was talking to this potential customer, and they were talking about how they use their immutable snapshots. They're in the banking industry, and they do their immutable snapshots every 6 hours. So if you just finish your snapshot and Microsoft Sentinel or IBM QRadar detects an event, do you really want to wait for 5.5 more hours to take a snap? Why not take it right away? And we can automate that entire process. So whether you're using SIM, source software, you could use the syslog if that's what you're doing. And if you've got a security operating center, as you know, in the old days, it was all about the network operating center. Well, that's old school. Now it's all about the security operating center. So you can integrate with that as well. Of course, we are the only one doing this integration. As the analyst firms have noted, we're the only one right now who's integrating with SIM/SOAR or a SOC. We are extending and making sure that your enterprise storage is not only safe, but is a critical element of a comprehensive corporate cybersecurity strategy by integrating with cybersecurity software products, not just being the storage guy off in the corner. So by doing this in near real time, you can reduce that threat window. The APIs and connectors are easily documented in our reference architecture. You decide what you want to do the snap of. You could snap everything. If there really was an attack and Microsoft Sentinel or Splunk sensed it, do you not want to take a snapshot of everything? But you don't have to. You pick what you want to do. Remember, our immutable snapshots are instantaneous and have no effect on production. In fact, again, the same customer in the banking industry was talking about they're taking hundreds and hundreds of snaps across 17 petabytes of both InfiniBox and InfiniBox SSA, again, still third generation. And they told the other customer, or I should say potential customer, that they have no performance impact on their Oracle deployments, on their SQL deployments, or any of their highly transactional databases. It can also be orchestrated with cyber detection. So you could take that snap and then guess what? InfiniSafe Automated Cyber Detection, which you're going to see a demo shortly, will use AL and MI technology to scan for malware or ransomware. So A, Microsoft Sentinel kicks us off. We take a snap right away. B, we talk from InfiniSafe to InfiniSafe Cyber Detection and automatically start scanning those snaps. Talk about helping you reduce the threat window. Infinidat can really do that with InfiniSafe Automated Cyber Protection, and then go even further if you'd like with InfiniSafe Cyber Detection after you've done that immutable snapshot. Now, we're also doing cyber detection for virtual machines. We're going to do a demo in a second. Joe Roa is going to demo it, but first let's just kind of walk through. So we have been able to do cyber detection again on the InfiniBox and the InfiniBox SSA, volumes, file systems, databases, or files. But anything in a VMware data store, we could not do that. As you know, VMware is ubiquitous. It's everywhere. Over 90% of our customers extensively use VMware environments. Again, the customer yesterday was telling the potential customer that 94% of their data is in a VMware environment. So that customer, for example, who, by the way, is in the financial sector, hasn't been able to use cyber detection because of this. Now they can do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it over to Joe Roa. I'm going to stop sharing. Joe, you have the floor. Joe, take it away.
Well, thank you very much, Eric, and welcome, everyone. So as Eric was discussing, this solution is new. It is new to the industry, and it is exceptional in its capability to help you defend your environment from ransomware attack. But it's also delivered turnkey, and the key here is simplicity. Everything that you wish to scan is defined with a very simple YAML file that indicates a name of the device you're scanning, the folks that you would like to keep on copy, the InfiniBox involved, because we can scan devices across all of your InfiniBoxes, the device name, the fully qualified name of the scan engine. Yes, you can have multiple engines in your environment. And essentially, you can add or remove specific VMs in your data stores that you would like to scan or like not to scan in this environment. We also do file systems. We also do any block volume device. So a very simple YAML definition for each of the devices you wish to protect. And then it runs on a schedule that you define. By the way, our teams will install this on your hardware. We will set everything up turnkey. We will train your staff on how it works. And we will be your support contact on any concerns or any new staff that need to be trained. But when this is scheduled, the jobs run, the jobs are reported. Once those jobs run and complete, a report is given on the snapshot that was used to scan the device. We always create a temporary snapshot of the most recent snapshot to ensure that you're always scanning a recent update of your data. From this scan, a full and comprehensive index on all the data that you're scanning is created, and all those scans and all the index is compared to detect anomalies. As you can see here, this is a VM that was detected with an alert. If I select that from my snapshot list, it shows up down here. And when I click on that, it takes me right to the alert tab. This alert tab explains the criteria that was breached in my threshold definition. In this case, it was a custom threshold. By default, it looks for any indication of ransomware. And then with that, you get a complete and comprehensive list of all the files that were compromised against that threshold. And using that snapshot information, you can simply go to the InfiniBox. You can select the snapshot that was prior to the one that was scanned to detect the issue. And with that, you can certainly right-click and restore from this snapshot, and you are instantaneously recovered from that solution. If there were only one or two files, you could also navigate the .snapshot directory under the compromised folder, and simply the customer can pull back his own file, or your storage admins can pull back their own files. And after every scan job, an email is sent out with a CSV file of the files that were scanned, and a summary is provided to the administrators on the success of the scan and the contents of the report. So this is all provided to simplify the operations for the administration team.
Well, thank you, Joe. One thing we want to make sure that we point out is this is delivered as storage software as a service, and you only pay for what you scan. So let's take an example. Let's assume you decided to buy one of our hybrids, and you've bought our largest hybrid, the 6420. So that's a G4. Okay, that's up to 17.1 petabytes of effective capacity. And let's assume you have a 100 terabyte VMware data store and a 100 terabyte volume that you want to scan, 200 terabytes total. Even though the array is 17.1 petabytes, we only charge you for 200 terabytes. And if you want to take 100 terabytes away, you decide you don't need to scan anymore, and it's 100, we'll charge you that. Or what's more likely, given the 9.5 trillion US dollar threat of cyber attacks in 2024, you might want to do cyber detection on more than just 200 terabytes. So you add 300 terabytes now for half a petabyte. So we will charge you for half a petabyte. Remember, however, that array, the 6420 G4 hybrid, is up to 17.1 petabytes effective capacity. And as we said earlier, the InfiniGuard will also have cyber detection for backup data sets at the end of 2024. Today, InfiniSafe cyber detection is on the 3rd generation of the InfiniBox and the InfiniBox SSA, and now on the InfiniBox G4 and the InfiniBox SSA G4. So right now for primary storage only, but at the end of the year for secondary storage, leveraging the InfiniGuard platform as well. Of course, again, the analysts are very, very supportive of everything we're doing with G4, whether it be our hybrid multi-cloud, what we're doing with InfiniVerse, and clearly what we're doing to help cybersecurity. Again, if you are not including enterprise storage in your overall cybersecurity strategy, and if you're in the infrastructure team and the CISO and the security team isn't doing it, they're doing your company a corporate disservice. Storage is critical, and you can see what we've done with ACP, where we've integrated not just on the storage side, but integrated storage seamlessly into the corporate capability of cyber detection at the data center level, looking at the networks, looking at the edge, looking at the applications in the server farms, which is what Microsoft Sentinel, for example, and Splunk do. And then if they send something, we can automatically start executing InfiniSafe on the storage side. Talk about comprehensive cybersecurity strategy across your entire data center and your entire infrastructure. Now, we have a lot of information that's available on this launch, press release, a number of very detailed, more technical blogs. There are a number of videos and podcasts. This is actually only 3 of them. There's about 8 of them that are available, so there'll be more posted as well. Data sheets, of course, solution brief, of course, on ACP. We've also updated the cyber detection one because obviously the cyber detection solution brief doesn't include VMware in the older version. And of course, new web pages for you to take a look at. So Bill, are there any questions that you want to bring up that came up today from our customers?
Yeah,
Bill?
thanks, Eric. There's I answered most of them in the Q&A, but I think there's a couple that are worth discussing just a little bit more broadly, just so make sure everybody's clear on it. There was a question: do I need to be concerned about any incompatibility between an older InfiniBox and the new G4 systems?
So the answer there is no. What we've done is what we always do. When we have a new version, the first time the new version comes out, it's only on the new platform, okay? But what we've done is make sure that with the 3rd generation, you can replicate or snap from the G4 to the older generation. The 3rd generation products in the next pass, 8.1, which will be later in the year, you will be able to upgrade your 3rd generation platforms to InfuzeOS 8. But we always wait. We've done it when we went from 6 to 7. Now we're doing it we're going from 7 to 8. So we're having that delay for the older products to be supported on the brand new software. But we made sure, because we've already had a couple customers who've ordered G4s already. Some customers under NDA saw the roadmap, of course, and they told us we want to keep some of the 3rd generation, use those as the replicants. So absolutely compatible.
Yeah, and that, just to add a little bit to that, that's the power of having a software-defined architecture. Even the differences in the versions, they're still fully 100% interoperable and provide all the same data services. So thanks for following up on that, Eric. One other question was around, where was it here? I'm trying to find it through the long list of questions that we had. Oh, the 1400, there it is. 1400 family is very interesting. What does it lack that the bigger systems have?
It lacks nothing. It is not a mid-range product. It is a high-end enterprise product with every features, InfuzeOS with InfiniSafe, NeuroCache, InfiniVerse, all our data services, our active, 100% availability, all our guarantees shrunk to fit in a 14 rack configuration. It is a high-end InfiniBox SSA G4 with no compromises. The main thing is it will fit into those other environments, co-location, edge, or distributed data centers, or a small data center, for example, in a factory or in an office park where you don't have your full big giant data center. And in your big giant data center, if you've got empty rack space, you can stick our array in as long as there's 14 rack, you're going into an industry standard rack. So this is a no compromise, high-end enterprise array solution with all our guaranteed SLAs, all our performance. As you know, we are known on the highly transactional workloads for our 35 microseconds of latency. No one is close to that. Absolutely no one. And you get 35 mics of latency, not only on the 6400 SSA family, but you get it, guess what, on the 1400 as well. So it is a high-end enterprise array that's basically been put into a smaller form factor to fit in these other environments where people have wanted to put something and didn't need even the partially populated because they had limits on the floor space in the area, such as in a distributed or small data center at a factory or office park. And so they needed something that could deliver the high-end features of the InfiniBox family and the InfuzeOS, but do it in a smaller form factor. And that's exactly what the 1400T family is.
Great. And just to answer one question quickly, there was an ask if we'll supply a PDF of this. We will, along with the recording link. And lastly, there was one other question on details of usable versus effective capacity. And I posted the links directly to the data sheets for the InfiniBox G4 and the InfiniBox SSA G4, which include all the capacity specs of all the models and model families that we have. So I think that's about it that we have for questions. I'll just look to make sure nothing else got posted while we were talking, Eric. I think we're good.
So again, thank you very much for your time. If you have any other questions, please reach out to us at www.infinidat.com in the contact area, or reach out to your local Infinidat sales team, or of course our global channel partner community. As those of you know, we do between 80 and 90% of our business through the channel quarter after quarter after quarter. So our channel partners are very well educated, know how to use InfiniVerse, know how to help you deploy, can help you do whatever you need. So reach out to either us or our global channel partner community. Again, thank you very much. And we are going to end the webinar. Appreciate all of your time today.
Well, there you have it. Another solution in our spotlight. We want to thank Eric and Joe from Infinidat for that presentation, and we appreciate your attention as well. Until next time, I'm Doug Atkinson here at Solutions Review. Thanks for watching.
If your business would like to be featured in a future event, contact us today.